Adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Yo, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. And this is the Adventures of Pipeman right here on W4CY Radio, W4CY.com. Before we move forward, Juan, check on my personal profile page because it said it's not broadcasting there. So fix that, please, in the background. In the meantime, I want to play an official trailer that I found today when I was finding this banner behind me, the background. So I want to give props that there's a documentary that has to do with some of what we're going to be talking about in the show today. So we're going to start with listening to this trailer, and then we're going to bring on our pipe nuts, and we're going to talk about what to expect when dating a serial killer or a serial dater. Are they the same? I don't know. We're going to ask our resident expert in true crime, Nanette Barto. And we're going to ask Rebel's opinion too, because there's something I need to talk about having to do with Louisiana. And I am going to almost guarantee that Rebel will have no clue what I'm talking about and will be an embarrassment to the show. But we'll see what happens. Okay, so let me roll this trailer. It's Dating Horror Stories, the official trailer. Here it is. Tell me if any of you have experienced any of this.
I just hate everything about dating, meeting people online or in person, and trying to figure out, are they all lunatics?
There's this underground challenge.
What the fuck? This exists?
Maybe it's cheesy that I brought you to where I'm performing tonight, but magic is what I do. And I really wanted you to see that.
I want you to help me find supply.
Where do I find dead bodies?
Find people and kill them. Do I need to spell it out for you?
Are you sure I have nothing to worry about?
Absolutely. I can do anything I set my mind to. I have the power to do whatever I want. To fail is to give up. 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 And I will not give up.
You know what? I think I have to give this relationship my blessing.
To not being psycho.
Don't really know about the not being psycho part. That's not really fun. But let's bring on the pipe nuts to discuss it. Come on down.
Hello, everybody.
And then we're going to bring Nanette too. She's a part-time nut.
I only get half the job done.
Okay, trivia question. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Is that a commercial for A, dating app, B, candy, C, somebody that has their microphone muted once again like they do every show, D, a serial killer related incident? Which is it?
I'm flying.
think it's a
together.
commercial.
I know.
Okay, what is it, Rebel?
It's a candy commercial. Almond Joy.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
And
Almond
Mounds.
Joy's got nuts, Mounds you don't.
Mounds don't.
I
I think
hate
it
both
should
of
say
them.
sometimes you are.
Okay, the Pipeman is a chocoholic, sugar addict, and carbaholic, and you could never even pay me to eat a Mounds or an Almond Joy, by the way.
Oh.
It's probably the only candies on earth, except the ones that are in the stupid assortment things that you always end up getting. You think you're going to get the cool one, but you get the coconut-filled one, and like you have to keep eating more till you find the good one. Why do we send people assorted candies? Because they don't like 95% of the candies in there. They just take a bite out of each one till they find the one they like.
Thank you. Well, that's because Forrest Gump said, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
And Rebel, I'm not really sure. Okay. It's my fault. I did say that you should do something with your background, but I was more meaning that you were using a sheet. Now it's just a sheet on an acid trip.
It's not a sheet. These are backdrops. This was actually provided by a fan. Because
is it retro of the is it retro of the 70s and the infinity mirrors? Remember those?
No, I think that is a if I could get it straight, it's a hallway of lights. Another thing you asked me to bring to the show that a fan sent me.
I asked you. I didn't ask you anything. There it is.
That's it. Fans sent that to me, a fan, and I like to thank the fan who sent this to me and the backdrop. But Pipeman seems to say shit show for a lot of this, so they think I'm the shit show supervisor.
Speaking of the shit show supervisor, tell us what we were going to talk about the KKK, Rebel.
We were not going to discuss the KKK. You
Yes.
seem to like to discuss that about that.
Yeah,
but there was
yes.
something about Thanksgiving dinner.
That's right.
And you had a question about Thanksgiving dinner.
I had a question about Thanksgiving dinner. As a representative of Louisiana and the South in general, can you give us your answer? You're muted. What is with her?
Shit show supervisor.
Hey, shit show supervisor, can you answer with your mic on, please?
First of all, I don't do that. And second of all, you didn't ask the question that everybody's wondering what I'm going to answer.
I asked you the question. Why don't you tell everybody what the question is?
Yeah.
I need to know if dark meat is allowed during Thanksgiving.
No, that's not what I said. I said if you invite the KKK to your Thanksgiving dinner, do they only eat white meat?
I wouldn't know because, to my knowledge, I don't have anybody like that at Thanksgiving. And B, why do you come up with this stuff?
I don't. It's when I'm sitting on my balcony, looking up at the drones, fantasizing about. Listen, everybody knows I don't like guns. I don't own a gun. I would never shoot an animal nor a human being. But I sure as hell have this huge fantasy of shooting down every drone I see, man. They are annoying as shit. I went to the boat parade, okay? And there were more drones than boats. I was like, man, I really need one of those like assault rifles for the drones, not the people.
They're using them for security now at these events. So you're going to see a lot more of them. One of my friends are actually buying the position at Aftershock.
I'm okay with that. I'm talking about the idiots that are not even watching the boat parade because they're too busy watching the boat parade through their drone.
Yeah, not living in the present.
Those people. Like, I don't think everybody should have a drone. I'm sorry.
Ouch.
I have one.
I have one.
And a gun.
I have one and a gun.
Well, I mean, drones are fun. I did buy one for my grandson, okay, and I had to buy him a second one because within 30 seconds of flying within 30 seconds of flying that thing, I got it. I was showing him how to fly it, and I landed it in the tree and no way to get it out.
Oh man!
And I was sitting there throwing rocks up there. I was really teaching my grandson the right way to be a boy. You get shit stuck in the tree and you start throwing shit at the tree. You might hit people's houses, their windows, their cars, the little kid riding by on the bicycle.
You missed the thing where you unscrew all the brooms, all the mop handles, tie them together, and start poking at the tree.
No, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to grab another drone and then try to knock the other drone with the second drone.
That's what I did, though. I went and bought another drone. Wait, no, that's not funny because I went and bought a second drone to get the first drone out, and then they were both stuck in the same tree.
And then you get a third drone, so on and so forth.
No, then I just said, fuck it, I'm going home.
I know, right? A ladder, much?
A ladder?
Ever climbed a tree?
Big of a ladder? You know how big the tree was? I had it like way up in the air. Okay,
minus your height.
Yeah, anything above me is way up in the air. But just saying, no, it was like a huge tree that there's no ladder big enough to get to the top of that tree unless you're a tree hugger. No, not a tree hugger, a tree. What climber? Are they? Yeah, that would be it. And there's a good trivia question. Are tree trimmers tree huggers too? Which are they? Or are they
have to hug the tree to get up there?
They're the anti-tree hugger, I think. But anyway, let's talk about that movie trailer I just played. Okay, Nanette Barto, since you are the resident expert of the show on true crime and now probably dating serial killers, what did you think of that movie trailer?
Well, I love that you captioned at the end about how here's to not being a serial killer. In my forensic document examination business, that is what I would call a pre-disclosure, and you really need to pay attention to these things, especially when dating.
If you say you're not a serial killer, you are definitely a serial killer. I'm just going to tell you right now, okay? And I do think I have dated serial killers, but I don't want to really know, to be honest. I can say, and I can't say who it is, okay, but I definitely had a long-term relationship that had a relationship with a serial killer right before me. Well, actually, kind of at the same time. I won. He went to prison, and I won. Of course, now evaluating that scenario, he was the true winner because
you got the
prison was better than the relationship with that psycho.
We call the females black widows. We don't call them serial killers.
Well, I have dated the daughter of
praying mantis.
Yes, the daughter of a praying mantis and black widow that were married together. That's who I dated.
Wow. I'm pretty sure I have a real life story in one of the cases that I'm currently working. Two of her husbands at their 10-year marriage mark died of heart attacks at the age of 39 and 49. And then her third husband, as she's divorcing him, invites him over to dinner, serves him a meal she doesn't eat, and the next morning he's in the hospital having a 5-way bypass, and the doctor comments that he has no cholesterol issues. Like, so what the
I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Just a coincidence.
I am going to break something on this show right now that has never been done in 18 seasons, okay? With your help, Nanette, I want to get your opinion of this scenario, okay? Your expert opinion. And if this kind of stuff can lead to somebody dating serial killers or at least psychos. Okay.
Low self-esteem.
So back up, because the person I'm talking about definitely does not have low self-esteem. Okay. Let's just put it out there. Okay. So there was this woman, she was somebody's grandmother. Let's put it that way. She was somebody's grandmother. She had 3 husbands. The first husband lived longer than she did, but he was Italian mafia. The second husband was a Jew, and he did not live. The person that was the grandmother, she was a very successful businesswoman in the jewelry business. But then she got ultra rich when this second husband died. Then she got married to a third husband. And she got super, super rich because the third husband died. And her daughter hated men. And the minute the grandmother died, the mother also showed how she hated the mother too, by burning every picture that was ever in existence of this mother. Okay. And on top of that, having her children cut from the will. Well, one child cut from the will. The other child was the executor of the will, and she was super pissed about that. And then she made him give her his portion of the will, even though he was executor. Nanette, in your expert opinion, does the person that is the child, one of the children of that woman, of the woman that's the daughter of the grandmother, is that person a serial killer or a serial dater?
If you are capable of forcing the executor to give his half of the estate, he might know something about her that nobody else is aware of, and she could likely be a serial killer enough to scare him into those kind of tactics.
Okay, but does that make him or his brother a serial killer? All of that.
No, but I'm a little intrigued about how she made him give up his portion.
How about if the mother's name? Okay, let's ask Juan. We'll go to a different expertise. It's Italian, but it's close enough to Spanish. Okay, we'll just we'll just lump you all in the same area. Her name was Dolores. Based on that, in your expert Hispanic opinion, would you say she's a serial killer?
How do you spell the last name?
Dolores. Oh, that's the first name, not the last name.
So that name by itself means pain.
Yes, it does. In Italian too. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
already starting with a red flag.
This is definitely a made for Lifetime movie. Now,
is that where you saw it?
Well, the son that got cut from the will at the mother's request.
I had you backwards. You just confused the scenario now.
May or may not have also been the one that possibly dated a serial killer, and at the very least dated somebody that dated a serial killer. Have you figured out that algebra, people?
Your math is not mathing.
It's not mapping. Yeah,
mathing.
That's because
your math is not mathing.
Oh, yeah, that's because that's my family tree.
Were you the one that was cut?
I was cut from the will. I absolutely was. And then,
are you a serial killer?
I cannot confirm nor deny. Am I
pleading the fifth?
I might be a serial dater. I might be a serial killer. Is there really a difference? Let me ask the three of you. Let's go to the Southerners, because they have some screwed up viewpoints on sex and dating anyway. So, Rebel, can you tell us is a serial killer a serial dater, or is a serial dater a serial killer?
Well, there's separates and there's together. So yeah, serial daters could just be serial daters, and serial killers, well, they are just serial killers. But there are some that cross that line and are both, because if you're serial dating, you have more of a,
well, you have more options. You have more options. But the point is you ever look at these movies? Okay, these movies, always the serial killer also is a serial dater. Have you not noticed that?
Not always.
I pretty much in the TV, not in real life. In TV, it pretty much always is.
Is that like the equivalent? Is that like the equivalent of like cold calling? They're like,
yeah,
having like prospect.
Listen, if I were a serial killer, that's how I'd do it. I would just pull out the white pages and cold call bitches.
White pages.
It's not a good idea for serial killers to kill the people they're dating.
Well, but it happens sometimes. Maybe that should be a good idea.
Those are the first people the police look at. You could not be a serial killer. You're going to get busted.
What if nobody ever knew you guys were dating? What if you were secretly dating midgets? And
then now we're into the serial dating problem. You're crossing over again.
I think that's a smaller problem than.
Wait, sorry, little people.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're sorry.
I hope nobody's listening.
We're so sorry.
SMH.
No, seriously though.
You're like 3 shades of fuchsia. You look like your background right now.
I'm like, yeah, we talk about 50 Shades of Gray, 50 Shades of bullshit. I'm 50 Shades of fuchsia. Oh my fucking God. And in that, I have a question for everybody.
Sure.
Because if I was a serial killer, well, Nanette, I would want to know, in your expert opinion, would be me the best way to lure my next victims on? Would it be to give away a free cabin on a cruise?
Absolutely.
Well, let's
see. Wow. They fell off the boat. That is a serial killer's dream right there.
Well, let's do that right now. W4CY Radio and Pipeman Radio has a contest to win a free cabin on the most rockin' cruise there is. For the first time ever, we are offering a free cabin on Shiprocked. Yes, you heard that right. Win a free cabin and experience your favorite week-long party with us on Shiprocked 25, stacked with killer music, rad artist-hosted activities, and bitchin' theme nights. Together, let's rock out, make new friends, and cruise to St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Half Moon Cay, Bahamas. DM Pipeman Radio on all socials to be entered to win, or just listen to the Adventures of Pipeman for your cue to call. So,
nice.
If you think I'm a serial killer or a serial dater, then you need to either DM me or comment here if you're watching the show right now and tell us why you should win a cabin on Shiprocked, one of the greatest rock cruises ever, where you may or may not be a victim of a serial killer. Just
now,
saying.
I have to say this. If you are in fact a serial killer and want better chances of winning these tickets, make sure you tell them either you're a serial killer or a serial dater when you apply.
Well, later in the show, I'm going to play another commercial that will be a different offer for any of the people watching or listening that don't want to date a serial killer. Okay, so they'll have an opportunity to go on Shiprocked, but not free, because the free people are for me.
You've lost your opportunity to kill these folks. I'm sorry, you just advertised it.
But
it's like talking over your phone about a crime.
Don't you have an eye for the obvious, Nanette? I mean,
Yes,
isn't that
and
the way?
because you just
It's the
advertised
obvious.
it.
It's why nobody would suspect me as a serial killer. Are you?
I
really
have
just-
2 phones that are listening. How many phones do you guys have that are listening? You're busted, Dean.
Our phones don't listen to us.
Wait a minute.
Not at all.
That
Use,
is a
don't
conspiracy
use my
theory.
real name. Do not use my real name, Nanette. What is wrong with you? Okay. They can't
All right,
arrest,
Pipe Man.
They can't arrest Pipe Man, just like they can't give credentials for the South Florida Fair to Rebel Meddler.
They can and did.
No. Okay, if you're going to say that, let me tell the story. Okay. You know, I may be psycho, but not that psycho. This is how psycho the
Pre-disclosure.
emails related to me in my life are. Is we go to cover Puddle of Mud at the South Florida Fair, and we're going to get our media credentials. So the lady asks her name, and she says, Rebel Meddler. And I'm like, we're not on the radio right now, Rebel. Okay. And they're not going to give you media credentials under your radio moniker. And she's like, yes, they will. I'm like, Rebel, does it say it on your license? No. Well, they need to see your license. You need to give them your real name. So now let me fast forward past the South Florida Fair. Since then, Rebel actually went there on like the 42nd Street in New York or something, and got herself a fake ID that has the Rebel Meddler name on it.
I don't have a fake. Don't have a fake ID. He loves this. I do not have a fake ID. I don't need a fake ID.
So, Nanette, okay, knowing this stuff and observing her background, okay, would you say that Rebel Meddler is more of a serial killer or a serial dater? And I really want to know what do we expect when we're dating a serial killer? What should we expect out of that?
Which question would you like me to answer?
Let's do the first one first. Get that one out of the way, and then we're done with Rebel, and then we could go on to something important.
I suggest serial dater.
And what makes you think that? See,
She's a rebel.
Needs to hear this. She needs to hear this. Okay. How many boyfriends do you have, Rebel? You're muted again. Why is it?
She said 12.
4. Does that
serial.
qualify as serial dater? Okay, is it the same as serial killer, 3 or more?
It's a nice setup for a roster. That's what it is.
It's not a hockey team yet, though. Need one more. I got my hockey skates right near me right now. So,
and then what to expect from a serial killer?
I think of anybody on this whole show today that's a serial killer, it's Juan. And here's my
quiet.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Listen, I mean, it's just like, here's what I learned from my grandfather. The people you have to worry about aren't going to say anything. They may do one of these. Have you ever gotten one of these? You better worry when you get one of those. Okay. And the look and the calmness. That's
and it's crazy because Nanette has actually told me this before. She said that I have all the qualifications to become a serial killer. She said you were probably one bad experience away in your life from becoming one.
You know what? You need to watch, I think it's a Netflix show, How to Become a Murderer or something. They have some show on how to become a serial
How to get away with murder.
Yeah.
Well, first off, you got to stop researching it. You got to stop researching it, folks. This is how most people are busted.
That's how they're all busted. Like they Google search every single person that, like, do you not know how to clear your history, idiots? Like,
don't keep books in your house on the subject.
You can clear your history, but there are still logs that you can access to see what you've searched.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
But if you're not even smart enough to get rid of your history, then you just deserve to get busted. And you better
You're not smart enough to go to.
You better unalive as many people as you can as quickly as you can because you're getting busted. Okay.
Okay, but wait a minute. In all fairness, why would it matter if we had all of these things in our, possession or in our history or whatever? Isn't that hiding in plain sight or right out there in plain sight?
Well, that's what I was saying before. But look, you look at all these serial killers. They're very refined, conservative. I don't mean conservative politically, but just not big mouths like the rest of us on the show here. Okay. It's the reserved ones, like the mild-mannered reserved ones like Juan that you have to worry about. Okay. And I don't know. It might be something else too. What do you think, Nat? What else are the qualifications that he falls under?
Highly intelligent, introverted.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Oh, he has an entire list. Trust me.
I want to hear the whole list.
Inside the box, and nobody gets in.
How cool would it be? How cool would it be if your engineer for your show is a serial killer? I mean, that would be the coolest thing ever.
He became one so he could watch me to see whether or not I'm figuring it out.
Oh my God. That is great shit. I love that. Okay.
It's like a serial killer that follows the news, follows the police scanners, trying to see how close they are to him. Yeah.
How cool would that be as a TV show though? Like the serial killer being the reporter that reports his own crimes?
Yes. Or the serial killer that hunts down serial killers. That's the one I want to be.
Or like Dexter that uses his job to find his victims. Imagine that. You're working for law enforcement so you can find your victims. That's brilliant. And you're the blood splatter expert. So, hey, you can
start looking.
Anything.
If you're dating somebody who says I'm on I leave often for work or I'm going hunting for weeks at a time, be wary. If it's not even hunting season, what exactly are they hunting for? I left to get a pack of cigarettes and didn't come back for 3 weeks.
Wait a minute.
Might be a red flag.
Hunting season for something though.
Now you have me worried. Because my son, okay, he rented this thing, leased or whatever, this thing for a year for hunting. Yet he hasn't caught any deer, but he goes hunting every weekend on his own property that is leased out with a bunch of other people. I never see the other people come back.
Is it deer season?
Maybe he's going hunting for wabbits.
Wabbits.
Oh.
Rabbit season.
Is it deer season all year long?
I have no idea where he is.
No. So who
it depends
leases
on where
property?
you're at. It depends on where you're at. Right now, it's iguana hunting season here. Okay, we actually pay people to hunt iguanas here.
I hear it's good meat.
Well, they do. If you go to Mexico, they have soup, iguana soup. Same with Aruba. It was like every Thursday there was iguana soup. And I used to think to myself, do iguanas only come out on Thursday? So, would you ever date an iguana, Nanette?
Yeah, I'm a little scared when they turn colors because they're ready to mate.
But they got a long tongue.
Oh, crap. And a mean tail.
And, they just nibble a little bit.
Just a little.
So, I actually had a date with a iguana once.
And off that note, deer season is September through February.
So here's my point. Your son is
It's not the same in every state. It's not the same in every state. Are you looking in North Kakalaki?
No. I'm fairly certain it's close. Their season.
Yeah, I feel like it's around the same time. They're not going to do it during spring when the babies are being born. They're not going to do it while there's these.
Actually, no, I'm from Jersey. I think it's year round because there's such an overpopulation of deer that it's a really bad nuisance. Like they're not even afraid of humans anymore. You can look in your back. It is kind of cool. You can look in your backyard and there'll be like 12 deer in your backyard.
Well, you
just
can't
chilling.
Just
You mean
kill
dinner
all
comes
deer
to you
either.
in New Jersey?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the new DoorDash? Uber Eats?
No, it's Deer Dash.
Deer Dash. There you go.
That's gonna be my next business. I'm gonna call it Deer Dash, and it's gonna be a deer delivery service.
You just order from from Bambi Deli.
Perfect for Christmas. It's perfect for Christmas. Christmas time, we give you reindeer.
Reindeer.
So
little horn.
okay. So seriously though, what else can we expect when dating a serial killer?
They're vague, obviously, dishonest at best, omitting. You're never going to get enough information out of them about where they've been and what they've been up to. Let's see. You might suspect them if they use a pillow to try to shut you up.
What if they're just playing around?
Yeah. Okay, that's a
Like
concept
think
I
about
hadn't.
people. A lot of women are into choking. I just think that's dumb. You're just like you're inviting serial killers. Okay, like choke me. Oh, okay, thanks. You made it.
If your partner says they accidentally killed your cat, here's another sign.
You might be a serial killer.
Serial killer. Yeah,
That's how you have to end everyone that you say, Nanette. If blah 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 blah, you might be a serial killer.
Might be
Okay?
dating a serial killer.
So
yes.
here's what
They
I
start
wanna
with
know.
small animals, I've been told.
Here's what I want to know. Who is the most famous serial killer of New Jersey? Not New York, because we know New York that, there's a lot of them. Son of Sam. I remember growing up with Son of Sam.
That was in New Jersey?
New York.
Okay.
That's why I said New York. There was a bunch of them. What about Jersey?
I have no idea.
How about
Pauly
Tony?
D?
How about Tony Soprano?
There you go.
Actually, when I watched the intro of that show, it's like home movies to me because that is exactly where I lived when I was going to middle school. I lived in that same area, and it is like that. Okay, listen, they didn't come up with a show called The Sopranos from North Caldwell like it was something. And you heard my Jersey just come out there. It does come out on certain words, but you don't just pick that out of a hat. Okay. But
no, it's real.
But here's what I want to say. I am a Jersey boy through and through. And I was so honored that I got to interview about a documentary. What are you saying to me?
I said, you poor thing.
Listen, if you knew, you wouldn't say that. You know that, and it says it in this trailer, but you know that Jersey has every landscape geography of the whole country in that state. Like you can an hour in any direction go to the
Sierras.
Beach. You could go to beach. You could go to mountains. You could go to ranches. You could go to the forests. Like it has every type of environment, but it also has great music and a lot. Jersey's always the stepchild of New York and Philly because it's stuck in between, sandwiched it. But you'd be amazed how many music artists came out of New Jersey. And the one thing cool about the Jersey scene, as somebody that was in the Jersey scene and the LA scene at that same period of time, the Jersey scene, all the bands, because Jersey people are this way, all helped each other. They helped each other all to succeed. The LA bands all stepped on each other because it was who was going to be, the biggest. So I had the honor of interviewing about this documentary that is out called The Jersey Sound. And I have to tell you, on the Pipeman Radio Tour, when I go and do all these festivals, a majority of the publicists for the bands I'm interviewing at these festivals, including Aftershock, Nanette, are Jersey. They're like, you wouldn't believe how many of the publicists I deal with are all from Jersey that handle pretty much every metal band there is. Okay. But I'm going to show this trailer right now, and then you guys can go to the Adventures of Pipeman podcast on iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, and 100 others, or it's going to be also look for it to be broadcast on my Facebook and YouTube and all that. It's going to be coming out tonight. The interview's coming out tonight, but here's a trailer to the actual documentary. Let's watch it.
New York has grit. Philly has soul. New Jersey has more passion than you could ever know. When you're blinded, 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 whoa.
I think there's a Jersey attitude, and John has it, and Bruce, and we all do. It's that idea that no one is going to hold us back. We are not going to be laughed at. We're going to be respected.
You go through those records, you go through those lyrics. That's real. You can't have anything that really hits people unless it's authentic.
There's a difference between Jersey and New York City. If you're actually in there and involved and spending as much time in both states as I have, it's night and day.
If you drive through New Jersey, you're going to drive through a microcosm of the entire United States.
When you're blinded, 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 you can't even see your face.
If you've got a group of people willing to make it their number one priority and go all in.
You want to honor your scene.
Seeing other people do it kind of inspired me to think like, yeah, maybe I could give this a shot.
Once you start getting into bands, you share the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
You are fortunate to be able to make music for a living, and you better kick ass every time on stage.
Eras of artists, painters, musicians tend to crop up together.
We were in direct competition with all the bands from New York and Philly, and it was great because we won.
It's New Jersey, man. They love their music.
There it is. But here, okay, interesting. Some interesting fun facts I want to share with you guys, especially the people that work for the network that might not even know this. So our studio in Wellington, there used to be a gym in that strip plaza called Ultimate Fitness. And so there was a Jersey boy that I lived near in New Jersey, because I lived like right down the street from the Stone Pony and all that classic Asbury Park stuff that Bruce Springsteen's from. And I lived near him there. And he lives near our studio in Wellington because his daughter is an equestrian. And he used to work out at the gym in our plaza, eat at the restaurant that I'd eat all the time. Cool ass dude. So that's a Jersey one. Another story is I used to be manager of this place called Harrow's on Route 9 in Old Bridge. Now there's this thing called the Old Bridge Militia. And basically, it's so funny. You take Metallica, who, by the way, Rebel, remind me at the end of me saying this, why Metallica is so important to what I'm saying, okay? Remember to remind me that. Okay. So Metallica started in LA. I went to their first show ever in LA. And then they left LA and went to the Bay Area. So people in LA say Metallica is from LA. And if you were to take literally, that's where they're literally from. Bay Area, Metallica ended up calling home. So to them, they're from the Bay Area. And a lot of people in the Bay Area. But then they went to Jersey. And there's this thing, the Old Bridge Militia. And Old Bridge is a town in Jersey. And all the people I know in Jersey from that area, they all claim that Metallica is from Jersey. Because that's where Metallica got signed for their first album, Kill 'Em All. There was a record label that was the only one brave enough to sign a thrash metal band to lead where we are today with these massive festivals that are on the Pipeman Radio Tour. Wouldn't have happened without Johnny Zazula of Megaforce Records. Let him rest in peace. There is, if you go back in my podcast, there's an interview with him shortly before he passed away. But they signed Metallica when no one would. And Metallica is now probably the biggest rock band ever in history. And so that happened in Jersey. And then, so back to Old Bridge, I was manager of this pool place called Harrow's. And there was a place down the street called Art Stock's Playpen. We used to call it the Pig Pen. Okay. And bands used to play there. And there was a place in Old Bridge called Hunka Bunka. And there was this town right there too, if you know the area, called Sayreville. And that's where John Bon Jovi's from. And I remember one day I was in the Wendy's there on my lunch break, and in walks this dude with this large entourage of people in his hometown in a Wendy's fast food restaurant. It was Bon Jovi. I was like, dude, you're in your hometown. You don't need the entourage. Okay. But we also have had interviews with Bon Jovi's family on the Pipeman show too, way back when. So you can look that up too. But man, I love this documentary because it's like so much cool stuff, and everybody needs to check it out. Check out the interview later. And now it's your turn, Rebel, to remind me of something.
What does Metallica have to do with this?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Okay. Because maybe Columbus, Ohio might end up claiming Metallica after 2025. Let me show you why. Man, I have freaking chills, man. That was literally giving me goosebumps and chills. I don't know about you guys. You know what else is giving me chills? Okay. There's another announcement. Okay. There's one band last year that got canceled, that was retired and hadn't played in 5 years, and they got canceled due to a stupid freaking hurricane. Well, I have news for you. But not only that, there's more news, but I want to talk about Sonic Temple. Yesterday, just yesterday, Pipeman was approached so that we could do ticket giveaways for Sonic Temple and Welcome to Rockville in May. And so
nice.
We're going to be doing ticket giveaways on the show. There's another festival that we probably will, not confirmed yet, but what is confirmed at this other festival and at Welcome to Rockville is a band. I have their album, like it's right in front of me where I'm sitting. I should have pulled it out for the show. First time in 28 years, this band is performing live at 2 DWP festivals. They are a sludge band from the great state of Louisiana. So Rebel Meddler, can you tell us who it is? Because you're from Louisiana.
I hate when he does this stuff. Lillian Axe, Firehouse.
Okay, you know what? Let's just see what the surprise is for Louder Than Life first. because you don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't even live in Louisiana. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Music festival Louder Than Life was called off today. Day 2 was already delayed by the wind and rain from Helene before organizers made the decision to cancel. Though the fans we talked to were a little disappointed, they took it in stride.
I lost my mic.
Oh, well, you didn't lose your mic. You're here.
You got it back.
I got it back. That's because I'm fixing it right now as we speak. Oh, so there it is, Slayer. I'm so freaking pumped. Okay. I get to see him again in 2025 and Metallica in 2025. And,
wow.
And
I thought you said they hadn't played in 28 years. So now I'm confused.
No. The band I didn't mention yet. That's from Louisiana. That Rebel doesn't even know bands from her own town. Like she's a disgrace.
But then you're confusing us again.
Well, here, I'm going to play something else for you and see if I can clear up the confusion, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
Welcome to Rockville, North America's largest rock festival returns in 2025 with Green Day, Korn, Shinedown, and Linkin Park. Plus Bad Omens, Incubus, Good Charlotte, Rob Zombie, Alice in Chains, Pierce the Veil, Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Sublime, I Prevail, and so many more. Welcome to Rockville, May 15th to the 18th at the Daytona International Speedway. Passes on sale now at welcometorockville.com.
So, which one is it? Do tell.
Okay.
Come on, don't leave us hanging.
So first of all, you saw Linkin Park, but that's not 28 years, but it is the first time since Chester passed. And Linkin Park's back, and they'll be at Welcome to Rockville. But at Louder Than Life and Welcome to Rockville, I hope I'm right. And you should know, Rebel, because it was in the email that you didn't read.
I did read it.
And the band is Acid Bath. And they are a killer band. That this is the first time in 28 years, and they will be at DWP Festival. Tell you what, Pipeman will also be at Hellfest, and they just announced their lineup. Rebel, do your homework. Next week, we're going to talk about their lineup, and you better know who's playing there. Nanette, do you have any Hellfest. Nanette, any final words and advice for our listeners on serial killers or serial daters, or when they're both?
Choose to be a serial dater that dates a serial killer so you stay off the list.
That is what I'm going to do. Do you know any serial killers I can date?
I'm a practicing, I suppose. I mean, that's all I cover.
Okay. We'll have a Zoom meeting about it. Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for bearing with this bullshit today. And especially Rebels. Okay. We can't help these people from the South. Nobody really taught them anything since the Civil War. And we know the slaves were the smart ones anyway. And, then we have Nanette, how the West was won. She has the key to how the West was won, and it has to do with serial killers. So, Nanette, real quick, can you tell everybody, real quick, about your show, about your business, your socials, everything?
Yes, Hit the Road, Jack. Finding the Zodiac is the true crime podcast on the Zodiac Killer and multiple unsolved serial killings across the United States. You can reach me at findingthezodiac@gmail.com, or you can find my business website if you need some forensic help at eyefortheobvious.com.
Nice. And Juan, do you have a live show in 5 minutes or 6 minutes or 7 minutes?
No.
Okay, good. Because I have one more thing I have to play before we go. But Juan, maybe you could plug your for victims for your serial dating spree.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
See, that proves it.
No,
Nanette,
listen.
Nanette,
Nobody can prove that they are not a serial killer because none of us know what we do when we're asleep, right?
Is anybody awake inside their dreams or dream inside their awakes?
only back in the teenage years when
Have you
I
ever
was
had a dream
taking
about
in
dreaming?
certain things.
yes, I have.
Have you ever had a dream?
And waking up twice really sucks.
Hey, have you ever had a dream where you were dreaming about dreaming?
That's
It's
what
a
he just
dream within a
asked. Yeah.
dream.
No,
Dream
no,
within a dream.
no. I'm saying dreaming about dreaming about dreaming. I'm like adding to
Now
it.
you had to plus and plus, didn't you?
I did. Okay, so there's a couple more festivals we're giving out tickets for that I want to mention real quick before we go. We have, well, I'm not going to mention it. I'll just let them mention it.
Hey, Rock the South, it's Chloe.
What's up, Rock the South? It's Riley.
I had a heck of a time at the biggest party in the South. I kind of want to do it again. What about you?
You know, I was thinking the exact same thing. Host again?
Host again.
Chloe, did you see this lineup? Kid Rock, Nickelback, and Hank Williams Jr.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a high of next year. Also, Treaty Oak Revival, Three Doors Down, Gavin Adcock, and so many more great artists.
From what I've seen, the tickets are flying.
All my friends already got theirs.
If you want to come hang out with me and Chloe, Kid Rock, Nickelback, and Hank Williams Jr., you better get your tickets now.
That's right, tickets are on sale at the link in our bio.
Singing Sweet Home Alabama all summer long.
I stole that from TikTok. But no, seriously, we're doing ticket giveaways for that festival. And man, I want to go to a festival, not because of Kid Rock, but because of the hosts. Like, because they could partake in my serial dating study. Okay.
Now, we did have some comments here. We had Charles said, I need to win tickets to meet all the bands and the Pipeman. He's referring to the cabin in Shiprocked.
Oh.
Then he said,
yeah.
I would even ask Rebel to come with me.
Rebel, are you Rebel?
There's number 5,
you right
Rebel.
here live on the air. Rebel, he's proposing you right here live on the air. Are you willing to go with him?
Yes, maybe.
Well,
yeah.
then he said, well, inviting Rebel might give me banned.
Oh,
yeah, that might happen.
And there's Rebel may be a serial killer. She omits a lot. You need to ask specific questions for the correct answer.
Rebel is definitely a serial killer, 100%. I'm just saying. Okay. So, you know what else?
Oh God.
What else? What does this one say?
We also have one from Polar Knives.
Dating a woman. Yeah. Worst date ever was dating a woman from Dubai. Was her and 15 members of her family as an entourage. Oh yeah, that would be rough. I don't even want one entourage. Okay,
is that like speed dating because you do it all at one time with the family, get it all out of the way, and figure out who does and doesn't like you?
It might be. Okay, so that you know what else we're doing? Not only are we going to rock the South, but we're going to rock the country too.
This is Chad from Nickelback. Hey, this is Ryan.
It's not pushing.
This is Chad from Nickelback. Hey, this is Ryan from Nickelback. We can't wait to bring 10 massive shows to a town near you. Tickets are on sale now at rockthecountry.com.
They're coming here. They're coming here.
So well, there you go. Real quick, people can win then, Rebel. If you win tickets to Rock the Country, you get to choose the town. As long as we have them left for the town that you want. So hurry up and enter to win. Go to Pipeman Radio on all socials to enter to win. Tell us which festival you want to win, and you will be entered to win. It doesn't mean you win. You'll be one that's able to win. Okay. And Nanette, you're not involved. Okay. And
how does this pick me? What?
All right. I want somebody to pick me. Okay. But because I gotta go see those hosts. That's where I gotta go. I'm canceling all festivals on the Pipeman Radio Tour except for Rock the South because Anyway, thanks for listening. Do yourself a favor. Do your own research. Date some serial killers. Date a serial dater. Let us know what to expect from either one of them and which is better. Maybe we'll talk about it again. So you can tell us next week which is better, and every week here on W4CY Radio, W4CY.com, The Adventures of Pipeman, 1 p.m. Eastern, every Wednesday. In the new year, we're going to be expanding to multiple days, so stay tuned to find out about that. In the meantime, I got to go because I got 4 seconds left. Roll it, Juan.
Thank you for listening to The Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.